we all understand the type of climate that we're dealing with. We're dealing with multiple offer situations.
I'd love to know sort of what's your why? What makes you tick? Why are you so successful?
Have a dialogue with your lawyer. Have a dialogue with your agent.
Both sort of passionate about sort of what we do.
Again, vet your agent to make sure that they're experienced and they're local. I like that idea.
No excuse to miss it on Saturdays from 8 to 9.
That's right.
WBZ.
And now, the show that gives you the latest and most relevant housing market news. Real Estate Radio Boston with financial expert Rick Scherer and legal professional Ali Alavi.
Well, I'm excited. We're actually excited to have Joe Schutt and Erik Schubert from the Unit Realty Group in the studio. Guys, how are you?
We're great. Thanks for having us.
Awesome.
Excellent. We're excited about having you guys. We talked at the earliest segments about the importance of dealing with a mortgage company, a bank that is big enough that could handle large volumes, but also small enough that could be nimble. And that's what I call the Unit Realty Group. You guys are a nimble company. You guys are you can respond very quickly, and you understand your clients' wants, needs, demands. So I really want to commend you on what you've accomplished. Tell us a little bit about your company, your vision, and where you want to take it.
Wow, that's a lot of information.
I know
all at once, right? We created our company a couple years ago. We just hit our 2-year anniversary. And
congratulations on that.
Thank you. We're actually a virtual company. So we don't have any one set base. Huh. We have our iPhone, iPad, and we're ready to go. We basically coined the phrase Agile Agent. We're nimble, we're out there, we're ready to go. I've written offers walking down the street in the back of my car. It's just whenever you're dealing with a client and they need to get something done quickly, especially in a very competitive market like ours, you have to be able to not only do the research in the market right away after you've shown the property, be able to write that offer and have them sign it right on your iPad and submit it.
Right. Absolutely. Now, you haven't been in the business for only 2 years. I want the listeners to have an appreciation of that. You've been in the business for a long time. Tell us a little bit about the background there.
Sure. Well, I started with a small independent company back in 2003. The interesting part is they are the ones that became Sotheby's in downtown Boston. So I have a great background with some great people.
Excellent.
And then, 2007, Erik joined me as my marketing guru. He's amazing at that as an agent. Then a couple years ago, we decided to jump ship and we opened Unit Realty Group, and we've been just having a lot of fun with it. And at the same time, really bringing something into our clients that I think is a little bit more unique in the marketplace, being virtual, being nimble, being agile.
Yeah, we built a whole brand around it, something that we like to call forward thinking. And it's based on 5 pillars. And, probably Joe can speak to those 5 pillars best.
Yeah, so the 5 pillars are being, we're all about, our dogs are a huge part of our life. Our clients, we've picked a lot of them up in the dog park in the Boston Common.
Yeah.
A lot of our agents are actually from the dog park in the Boston Common. So we're all about pets. We're all about being tech-centric, our iPad, our iPhone, available whenever you need us, make it easy. City-centric. We don't really go outside the city limits. We will once in a while if a client really wants us to go with them.
Right. Sure.
I've sold a few places and places I don't usually go to.
Right,
I get my GPS out. It's all good.
Right.
We're green.
We're green.
Paperless.
And, and it really comes down to giving back to the community.
That's funny for a company
aspect.
that has orange as its central color. You say that you're green.
Orange is the new green. Come on. But we're also very much about giving back to the community, whether it's volunteering and getting our people out there, or our communities program, unit in the middle of that word as well.
Yes.
Giving 5% of our brokerage's commissions back to charity of their choice as long as it's local to Greater Boston.
That's awesome.
We're all about using local people. We don't like the big companies that are out there. We do our printing locally. We use local people for our business cards, local mortgage people, local attorneys.
Sure.
So we're very much about keeping the local economy going.
That's great. I mean, I think it's a wonderful selling point, but I don't think it's a cliche. I think it's actually real because you know what? Every closing I've had, every client that I've represented that was with your group, I feel that they get that. I feel that they feel that you are individually supporting the community, and you are the local agents, if you will.
We are. It's funny. We always joke that when we leave our house, living in Beacon Hill, we have to leave about a half an hour early,
right?
Because we're running into everybody through the hill, into Back Bay, or even in Midtown. So if we need to get to an appointment, it's 30 minutes before we have to leave our house.
You're
early.
like politicians.
The mayor.
I don't know about that. It's all about the orange, you know.
Let's talk a little bit about how, one of the things that we talked about before we came on air is that there's a lot of sellers out there that are just a little bit nervous to pull the trigger. And that's just really because, where am I going to go? And, you guys said some phenomenal things, and I sort of want to recapture that here on the air on how you guys will walk your clients through the nervousness of, we know your house is going to sell, and it's going to sell quickly because of the marketing and all the stuff that you guys are going to do to make it sell quickly, but where am I going to go? And sometimes you can find something real quickly for them, but you guys have some plan A's, B's, and C's and D's to really put people at ease. So can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think Ollie hit a few really great points regarding, the typical things that an agent thinks of. Well, let's just push out the closing date, make sure it's a little bit flexible, check with the seller and see if we can do that,
right?
Or check with the buyer. Contingency closings, let us find somewhere to live first. One thing I don't think a lot of agents think about, or maybe they're afraid to approach the subject with their clients, is, well, let's put you into a temporary rental if need be. Let's get your place on the market. We'll continue looking for housing. And if we don't find something, let's look at short-term rentals. There's a lot of companies out there that will do that for you. We're in the process right now of partnering with some of those people within downtown Boston. We're also partnered with great moving companies. And that's another issue. Well, what am I going to do with my stuff? Well,
right.
You know what? My moving company over here, they're awesome. They'll store your stuff for 3 months. Just use them to move after the fact.
Right.
Yeah, I think the take-home message here, Rick, is that, and this is what you guys do very effectively, is when you're dealing with sellers, because we are dealing with low inventory. That's just the reality of the city right now. And so we know that if they're going to put the property on the market, that property is most likely going to fly off the shelf. And so I think that a lot of sellers are nervous because they go, okay, so I'm going to be homeless. What am I going to do?
Right.
Yeah, there's legal sort of contingencies that Joe, you're talking about that could be put into an offer. But I think psychologically the seller needs to be prepared for the worst case scenario. And I'll be honest with you, I think this is the first time I've heard this temporary sort of short-term rentals. And there are a ton of options out there. There are attractive options out there, and there are cost-effective options out there.
And you just literally shift the game. So, if you're going to try to buy and sell at the same time, typically you want a contingency on the property you go to buy. Well, that seller doesn't want anybody coming with a contingency. So what you're doing is you're taking people and saying, let's sell your house. Let's put you in the best light possible. We'll put you in a beautiful short-term place, and then we're going to go to the market with no contingency to sell a home. And that's where you're going to start winning bidding wars over people that do have contingencies. So I love that. We don't talk a lot about the temporary housing, but it's a great, efficient, effective way to do it.
And that is a huge point about being able to make an offer clear of selling your property. I mean, a lot of people are waiving contingencies, which I would never recommend.
Right.
I'll suggest, this is what I know people are doing. You have to make that decision which is best for you. I can't make that decision for you.
Well, and just, one of the things we talk about on this show is we talked about how MSA Mortgage is a little bit nimble. What we've been doing is we've been moving the mortgage commitment date a week after purchase and sale. So, and when someone comes with cash, they've got to put their money hard at purchase and sale. Well, a week after that, your buyer's money is going to be hard too, but we're able to get a commitment in a week so that they can almost compete with those cash buyers.
No, it's almost equivalent to a cash offer anyways, I think, under those circumstances.
Right, so you're not giving up your rights behind the mortgage contingency, but we're putting our running shoes on and we're getting it done a lot quicker.
And that's the reason why I use a local lender who gets it. Local small lenders, they understand what's going on in the market.
Absolutely. Right. Well, I'm gonna put you gentlemen on the spot again. What do you think is your projection for 2015?
Well, inventory, as much as we'd like it to be higher, I think that it's going to stay exactly where it is. We're going to be bouncing along. We're going to get a small uptick in the spring, and then, the summer's going to drop. And it'll happen again in the fall, but it's going to be tight.
So buyers, put your running shoes out there. Sellers, stay put.
Well, no, we want sellers to bring it to the market.
And bring it now is what we say, right?
Yeah, now is the time. Get ready.
All right.
And not only that, if you're not ready to put it actually on the market right now, come to us, talk to us. Let us get it ready for the market so when it is time to go on, done.
Talking to you, how would our listeners reach you guys?
They can either go to unitboston.com or they can simply call my cell phone. We're available all the time, 617-833-3376.
Can we say it one more time?
617-833-3376. 3376, and if you throw a .com on the end of that, it'll go to the same place.
Perfect. Look at that.
That's awesome.
Anyway, guys, Erik and Joe, thank you so much for being on the show. We're gonna have to get you guys back because again, we didn't hit half the stuff we wanted to hit with you guys.
Thank you so much for having
pleasure.
us.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you.